So, did you actually go and try it yourself? I really mean it. You need to play with it yourself first. I want you to really get a feel for what's going on. If you haven't, go and do that now. I'll wait. Okay, assuming you have done that, let me replace this 2 with an A and add a slider. Notice what happens if A equals 1. Why does that happen? Well, it's because 1 to the power of anything is always 1. You should have seen something special happen when A is 0 too. Basically, it's meaningless. 0 to the power of anything is 0. It doesn't help much. Why doesn't it exist on the negative side? Can you work that out? I'm actually much more interested in these kinds of numbers. Let me zoom out a lot. Actually, that's not quite what I want. I want to make my x-axis not zoomed out. Minus 10. Whoa. Minus 10 to 10. Okay. If I change A to a big number, it just changes the steepness of that curve. It's not changing a lot over on this side. Well, it kind of is. Let me zoom right in, and now you can see it is actually changing the shape of that curve quite a bit. Yeah, it's something funny happens when I go negative. We'll talk about that later. It's changing the shape of that curve a bit over on the left here, but not a lot. Most of the change happens on the right. Are there any other predictive things we can say before I start playing with negative signs? Are there any other things we can say about where this curve goes? Let me put A equal 2 for a second. And I want to ask you, what is the y-intercept of this graph? Whatever I change A to, does it change the y-intercept? No, it doesn't. Even if A is 1, I still have that y-intercept. Now, when I go less than 1, funny things happen. We'll talk about that later. If A is, 2, 3, whatever, then this intercept is always still 1. But there's something else we can say. I can make one other point on this graph. I can tell you what y is when x is 1. Because when x is 1, y is equal to A. So whatever my base is, when x is 1, y is equal to that base. If I make A 3, then the y value when x is 1 is 3. If I make y 6, then the y value when x is 1 is 6. So that's one other point you can always plot on the exponential curve. It will always look a bit like that.